Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Gelhaus, and I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Iowa in Iowa City, Iowa, in the United States. Thank you very much for this opportunity to present at your conference. I'm going to speak today about mentoring our next generation, probably one of the most important areas in helping and promoting our younger generations in the field of medicine. Mentoring really wasn't spoken much about in the early 80s and 90s when I was a resident and learning OBGYN. So let's first discuss the definition of mentoring. And there are many definitions in the literature. One that I look at a lot is that it's an experienced and trusted advisor, someone who teaches or gives help and advice to less experienced and an often younger person. It provides guidance and inspires. And I really like that part about inspiring. I think that's very important about being a mentor. And then it's someone with whom you can let your guard down, share your insecurities, and ask the S questions we all have. But first, we have to differentiate between role models and mentors. Mentors and role models empower people to live a certain way, and they influence the important decisions they make in their lives. Although the two terms role models and mentors are used interchangeably, there are distinct differences and some similarities. The express definition of a mentor, as we said before, is someone usually known to the other person with more experience and knowledge, who guides and teaches that person face to face. A role model, on the other hand, is usually someone that is not known to the person, but whom they look up to and who influences the way they live and act. So a mentor is someone who can show a good example and teach best practices. In contrast, a role model can offer both positive and negative examples, and it will be up to the person to understand the difference and learn only the good. So why is mentoring essential? Well, we know that it's a proven method of learning, and it results in the development of professional traits in the mentees. An ethical and moral example develops like traits in young professionals. And we know it helps decrease burnout, especially by having that mentor who has been through it before guide the mentee through the difficult times. Why is this important? Why is mentoring important? Well, what do we have today? We have increasing complexities of our profession, changing times with new generations and expectations, many more challenges and demands on our time. And a lot of this can result in physician burnout, and mentoring is one way we can help prevent that. There are types of mentoring. We break it down mostly into formal, which is assigned, or informal, which is unassigned. The relationship can be initiated by either the mentor or the mentee. And a lot of times in the informal, it's the mentee asking the mentor to engage in that relationship. Some studies suggest that informal mentors are more effective than a formal relationship, but the quality of the relationship is much more important than the way it is established. So how does mentoring work in the academic world, in academic medicine, where many of us are? Well, there was this very interesting study by Aaron Tracy in the OBGYN department at Mass General Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts. And the title of their study was Outcomes of a Pilot faculty mentoring Program. And this involved junior faculty members. And their goal was to identify particular positive and negative aspects of such a program. And they had two recurring themes in their results. The participants felt better supported by the department, and they appreciated a greater sense of camaraderie. Most mentees noted the program's success in the following areas. They had a role model, they had an example, and this is where a role model can meld into mentoring. They had that example, that good example. They had increased visibility. In other words, they were invited to events and they were able to network and make more connections, not only in their department, but also within their university system. They had someone to whom they could turn, someone that could help them with difficult situations. And that was very common for all of us when we were starting out. And the conclusion of their study was their mentoring program had significant benefit for everyone who participated. And that included the mentors and helped ensure the success of the new and young faculty members. And that's something we all want in all of our departments and divisions. So how can you be a great mentor? Well, first thing, it is a big responsibility. But a great mentor must believe in the mentee personally and professionally. The mentor sees the mentee as a person and not just as an employee. And the mentor has to be unafraid to tell them the hard truths. They must be honest with them, completely honest with them. And the mentor must put in the time and the energy in the relationship, or it will not work. Essential to mentoring is that the conversations must be completely confidential. What you see here, what you say here, stays here when you leave here. Kind of what we say, like what we say in Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And it will not work if the mentor breaks that confidentiality. Now, the mentor receives a lot of benefits also of mentoring. There is incredible personal satisfaction from watching someone reach their full potential. When that happens, mentors gain in return. It goes both ways. And this happened with my first mentee. I learned so much from him. And I think he learned something from me, but I felt like I benefited greatly from what I learned from him. So in Forbes magazine, I found an article about 9 things to know to be a great mentor. Number 1, always play both roles. Be a mentee as well as a mentor. You have to put yourself in the mentee role as you mentor. Number 2, be committed. Follow through and be there for them when needed. Being a mentor is a commitment, and you have to follow through on your promise. Mentors need to be there for their mentees when they are needed, or it will not work. Number 3, know your mentee can be anyone, anywhere. And it's very important that we supplement our skill gaps to help each other. Mentoring doesn't need to follow the traditional elder upstart prescription. We can have peer-to-peer mentors, and I had many of these over my career. I had one of my resident mates, and we still together today are peer-to-peer mentors. And I think this is very important to have people that are in the same position that you are in to also discuss concerns that you may have or finding out ways to deal with difficult situations. You can also still look up to your elder mentors, so to speak, but you can have those peer mentors that are at the same level as you. Number 4, listen. This is one of the most important things there is. Take time to listen and understand their situation. Spend more time listening than speaking. Listen intently as the mentee vents and sorts out the confusion, because frequently they will do that. As they're talking, they will sort some of the confusing and concerning things out in their heads. The power of listening is massive. And as my father always told me when I was younger, you listen better with your ears than your mouth. Number 5, have your own mentor network. Enlarge your circle to a wide variety of experts in many areas and age brackets. And I have done that over the years, and it has been invaluable to me. If you are insular, if you're always closed in, you will always return to the same small circle, and you may be closed off from other opportunities. To be the very best mentor, you need to continue building your network and taking advice from those you trust. Number 6, be open-minded, be compassionate. It is necessary to understand the mentee's needs, wants, and feelings that can only come in the form of deep and implicit empathy. They will never see your side until they are convinced you have seen their side. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Number 7, have patience. This can be a long-term and a trying endeavor. And it may require constructive criticism, which can sometimes be very difficult to hear, and it can be easily misinterpreted. But you cannot placate the mentee. My mentors helped me the most when they were honest with me. Direct and honest, and that's what helped me make a difference in my life. Number 8, be a role model. And a role model, in the definition that we used earlier, your actions are being evaluated. Set your bar higher than what you expect from your mentee and lead by example. Few things are more impactful than leading by example. Number 9, care about the relationship. Invest yourself and you will get much more out of the experience. If you do not care or cannot invest in the relationship, then find someone else, because you can do more harm than good. And the same goes for the mentee. They have to invest also in the experience. This is a photograph of my mentors when I was inducted as president of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. These were my mentors throughout my years. Second from the right was the resident who was my mentee, and he is the one that I learned a lot from, and we worked very closely together over 4 years. Far right is a person who was in my residency group with me, and he and I are peer mentors to this day. So I had a really good group of people. They invested in me, I invested in my mentee, and it was a great experience that helped me grow. So, as Michael Jordan said, just do it. Become a mentor. Watch what happens, not only to your mentee, but also to you. And don't forget, magic happens when you go outside your comfort zone. And sometimes this may be going outside people's comfort zones, but do it and you'll see what happens. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much,